The In Business Expo at the Alliant Energy Center, and we are so excited to have Cathy River here as our next guest. So, Cathy, can you tell us a little bit about the Madison Brain Center and what that organization does?
Madison Brain Center is dedicated to defragging your brain. Many times our brains are busy working like a computer, organizing everything in our body and in our life. But like a computer, if it gets bogged down, it doesn't know it, it just keeps doing it. And one of the main components of the brain are its brain waves. So we teach the brain to use its brain waves more effectively, and we train them much like learning chords and scales with a musical instrument. And then once you learn it and practice it a lot, you can go anywhere and do anything. And the more the brain develops its ability to expand what it does and how it does it elegantly in your life, keeps doing that. So by doing that, you can reduce ADHD symptomology, trauma responses, anxiety, because those are all stuck patterns in our brain waves. People don't go into deep sleep because they don't get enough theta. We teach their theta to work better, or their beta to not stay high when you're sleeping, and you sleep better.
Sounds like everybody could use just a little bit of that.
I call it peak performance brain training. I love it.
I love that.
It is so cool. I think everybody should. I'm the Tony Robbins of neurofeedback.
Oh, this guy likes Tony Robbins.
I
Yes.
do.
He does. Why did you choose to get into this field?
Because I did some on myself. I was working with an 84-year-old lady, and I learned how to do neurofeedback for her and went and took classes and leased a system. But when I did it on me, it was profound, the differences. Many of the things I was always having to remember to do or to focus on, I just was doing. So, like if you're in sales, you always want to remember to put on your calendar to do certain things and to call certain people. I wasn't having to remember to do my calendar. I was just doing it. And I was doing it like 5 minutes in the morning, would organize my calendar rather than take half of a day to keep going back and organizing my calendar. It was profound. And I get things done quicker, faster. It was easy to spend very little time on low priority things and a lot of time on high priority, even if I didn't like them. Like that do your frog first, all of a sudden was easy.
That's such an important statement, spending the quality time on highly important things. It's the 80-20 rule. We spend a lot of time keeping busy or doing things that may not really help grow our business or our personal growth. So focusing on those things that really make the difference is so important. With the work that you do, it sounds complex, it sounds complicated and pretty deep, but is there something that you could give the audience, the people watching at home, a tip on something that they could do to move forward and to have better brain power?
Laugh when there's no reason to laugh.
She got audience laughter. I love it. Look at that.
A spontaneous act of laughing. This is
love it.
great.
Purposely fake it. Look at videos of kids and dogs laughing. Get some movement in. One of the most incredible things I ever heard in my life that I started practicing, and I asked all my friends to remind me of and say is, even though that's true, what kind of attitude do you want to have? Then practice that attitude even if I didn't want it. You can see me, right? So
yeah.
If it's really hard to feel real good when you're like this,
Yeah.
and smile, look at my smile. But if I'm like this and I'm like that, and I smile, I feel better. I release more endorphins. And our bodies are hardwired and can get stuck because of our positions and emotions. And we think those emotions are what we're doing. But if you can move the emotions by moving or changing your body position, it shifts and changes. And I wanted to say, like, a lot of times people in sales or business, especially entrepreneurs, have a lot going on, and if they get stressed or dysregulated, they don't get as much done. And families are really important, and that's why they're entrepreneurs, right? Except they spend their time on evenings and weekends working, and that's what's most important. And what neurofeedback consistently gives my clients back, the brain training, is their evenings and weekends and their relationships because they don't get triggered. You know,
Who out there could use an evening or weekend back?
yes.
Right
All
here.
of us, right?
And it happens. But
All of us.
another thing you can do is sing or dance. And there's that TV show.
We've had them out here dancing. I don't know if you saw that. Can you
Good.
see? I mean, they've been out here
Yeah,
just
good.
dancing to your voice.
But what's the? It's a medical show, Grey's Anatomy, and when they're stressed out, they have dance parties. So anytime you dance or sing, you're moving, and singing especially moves your neurophysiology. It's very hard to be anxious if you're reading out loud or repeating things like a memorized statement. The other thing is it's hard to be angry if you're upside down. So you find a way, an upside down kind of a stand, or you can do yoga or something. And if you're upside down or a chair, the neurophysiology does not allow anger.
I'm trying to figure out how I can just be upside down.
Yeah, well, they
Just
make
try-
these
Yeah,
things.
I know
so you
the
can
thing,
put your
but I'm
shoulders
just
on it. They're cheap, but you can bounce back. You can, take a recliner and lay the other way on a recliner.
Yeah.
Put your legs up. But it's very difficult. I have taken teenage boys. You know how they get really angry. You wouldn't know that, but sometimes they get really angry and starts, twashing. But if you make them sit upside down or lay upside down, they find different ways. I have a lot of other movements that work really well, but those are my good ones.
I'm gonna try it. She's had tips for success
Right.
galore.
I love the laughing, and I'm going to try to go upside down now that I know that it means something. Because you see, when people are really healthy and they're getting really physically fit, they go do a handstand. And you're like, why? What? But now we know.
Now you know why.
Now we know.
It's hard to be angry if you're jumping on a trampoline, and they make those little round ones too for lymph control. And actually, getting your lymph moving gets toxins out of your body, gets your liver more production, and your liver is related to anger. So if your liver is working better, your anger goes down.
I'm a little mad at trampolines today,
Okay.
so we're not going there.
Too soon. So you're in booth 100, correct?
Correct.
All right. And so with the show winding down, how can we find you after the show?
It's Madison Brain Center. You can just type it in. My name's Cathy River. You can type in the word neurofeedback. We have really good Google Analytics, even though we get the phone calls every day saying we don't. People find me first. You could just look at the list of people every year on the expo, and I'm on there. So there's a lot of ways. I'm at 2001 West Broadway, the East Side entrance.
That's a nice,
All right.
easy address as well.
I
Yeah.
know.
Thank you so much for being on the show, Cathy. We really appreciate it.
Thank
I
you
love
very
the
much.
tips.
Yes.
I
Right.
love
I
the
love
tips.
it. We're going to go home and laugh.
A happy life
loud.
for busy
Laugh
people.
when you don't need to laugh. Fake it. Practice it all the time.
I'm hanging upside down.
I'm
That's what
hanging
I'm doing.
upside down and
I'm
laughing.
hanging upside down.
Boom.
Everybody have a great life. Say that to everybody. Why stop with just a day?
All right.
Yes, I love it. Thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Thank you so much.
Are we cut?
Yeah,
Okay, good. All right, thanks a lot.
Let's see.
Sorry, John.
not a problem.
Okay, I
Up
dropped-
next.
I dropped popcorn here. Is that
Oh,
me?
no worries. We're going to clean up later. So we'll be back in just a moment for our next episode, our next interview
2 minutes.
in about 2 minutes.